All right, let's get started. Today, we're basically going on a treasure hunt, or maybe it's more of an investigation. We're on a mission to find something that's hiding in plain sight in almost every operation out there. We're talking about unlocking the hidden factory and all the potential that's trapped inside. So let's dive in.
So, let me start by asking you a question. It's a bit of a mind bender. What if, right now, your factory, your workshop, your entire operation, what if it had a secret, invisible twin?
Well, here's the crazy part. It does. This hidden factory, it's not made of bricks and mortar. It's built out of all the lost time, all the little slowdowns, every single mistake. It's basically the ghost of all the productivity you could have, and is holding your untapped potential hostage. Our mission? To find the key and set it free. So, here's how we're going to crack this case. First, we'll get a solid handle on what this hidden factory really is. Then, we'll decode the one tool we need to measure it. It's called OEE. After that, we'll break down the 3 key factors that make it up, see how it all works with a real-world example, and then, and this is the important part, we'll figure out what a good score even looks like. All right, first up, the hidden factory. Now, don't go looking for an actual building. This isn't a physical place, it's a concept. Think of it as the sum of all your lost productivity. Every single minute of unplanned downtime, every product that's made just a little too slowly, every part that has to be scrapped, that's all work that's happening inside this invisible, hidden factory. You know, the biggest first step is just admitting that it's real, realizing that these losses are happening every single day. But just knowing it's there isn't enough, right? To actually do something about it, you have to be able to see it, to measure it. And that's where our special tool comes in, the one that makes the invisible visible.
And that leads us right into part 2. Let's decode OEE. If the hidden factory is the problem, then overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE for short, is like the high-powered flashlight you use to find exactly where the issues are hiding. It's the metric that, honestly, reveals everything. So, what exactly is OEE? I mean, the official definition is that it's a performance metric used to measure how effectively a manufacturing operation is being used compared to its full potential. And that's the key phrase right there, full potential. It's not about how busy you look. It's all about how productive you actually are with the time you've got. And this right here is why it's so powerful. OEE isn't just some random number. It's a compound score. It's the product of 3 huge factors, all multiplied together: availability, performance, and quality. And here's the thing. If you're weak in just one of these areas, your whole OEE score takes a nosedive. There is absolutely nowhere to hide. Okay, so let's dig into that. For part 3, we're going to break down these 3 factors. Think of them as the clues, the key pieces of evidence we need to conduct our investigation into all that lost productivity. Okay, take a look at this. What's so great is how simple these ideas really are when you break them down. First up, availability. Pretty straightforward, right? If you plan to run a machine for 8 hours, but it was only actually running for 7 because of, say, a breakdown, your availability is 87.5%. Simple as that. Next, you've got performance. This is all about speed. If your machine is supposed to make 100 units an hour, but it's only turning out 90, well, your performance is at 90%. And last but not least, quality. Are the things you're making actually any good? If you make 1,000 units and only 950 pass inspection, your quality score is 95%. See? Each one tells a crucial part of the story.
All right, part 4. This is where the magic happens. Let's put all these clues together. I mean, theory is great and all, but seeing OOE in action is where the light bulb really goes on. We're going to solve the case using a real-world example. So, picture this. We've got a textile machine. It's scheduled to run for a full 10-hour shift. That's our plan. In a perfect world, it would run for all 10 of those hours at its absolute top speed, making nothing but perfect products. But, we all know we don't live in a perfect world, do we? So first, let's check out its availability. Turns out there was a jam and it needed some extra setup time, so the machine only actually ran for 9 of the 10 scheduled hours. You do the math, 9 divided by 10, that gives us an availability score of 90%. We've already lost 10% of our potential right out of the gate, and we haven't even talked about speed or quality yet. Okay, next up, performance.
During those 9 hours that it was running, its ideal output should have been 500 units. But, because of little stops and starts, maybe running at a slightly slower speed, it only produced 450 units. So again, do the math. 450 divided by 500 gives us a performance score of, 90%. And finally, we get to quality. Of those 450 units that it did manage to make, not all of them were perfect. After inspection, it turns out only 95% of them were good enough to sell. And that gives us our final clue, a quality score of 95%. So now, for the big reveal, this is the crucial part, how all these numbers multiply together to tell the real story. We take our 0.90 for availability, we multiply that by 0.90 for performance, and then multiply that times that by 0.95 for quality. And what's the result? An OEE score of 77%. What this really means is that our machine, even though it looked pretty busy all day, was only operating at 77% of its true potential. And that other 23%? Well, that's our hidden factory, hard at work. Okay, so we landed on 77%. The big question is that good? Is it bad? I mean, how do we know? And that brings us perfectly to our final section, benchmarking your performance. Because a number without any context is pretty much meaningless. This chart really puts it all into perspective. Look, a perfect 100% OEE score, that's the dream, the theoretical maximum. It's almost never actually achieved in the real world. Now, the truly world-class manufacturers, they're consistently hitting around 85%. But here's the kicker. The score for a typical manufacturer is often hovering down around 60%. So that 77% we calculated, hey, that's actually not too shabby. But it also shows us there's a very clear gap between pretty good and world-class. And this is why OEE is such a game changer. It fundamentally shifts the conversation. You stop asking, how busy are we? And you start asking, how effective are we? It's so much more than just a grade. It's a diagnostic tool. It literally pinpoints your bottleneck. Is your availability score low? Well, that points you toward maintenance issues. Is performance lagging? Maybe you need to look at training or process improvements. It gives you a crystal clear benchmark for continuous improvement and turns that vague gut feeling of, I think we could be better, into a concrete, data-driven action plan. So, there you have it. We've found the hidden factory. And now, you have the key. OEE lets you see the losses, measure them, and, most importantly, attack them. The only question left is, now that you can see everything so clearly, what are you going to unlock first?